Hello and welcome to RED 4511 Linking Literacy and Assessment. I am your professor for this course. My name is Brian Johnson and I'm really excited to help you along your journey of linking literacy and assessment. So the entire point of this course is that assessment drives instruction. So what that means is that we only give tests that we know will help us know what to teach the child. So we give a test, we find out what the child knows, what they don't know, and what they need to learn, and then we can best instruct them based on those assessments. So that is what we're really learning, and I'm really excited to help you on this journey of linking literacy and assessment. So the first thing I'd like you to do now that you are in this course is to go into Blackboard and take a look around. If you haven't taken an online course before, you'll definitely need to spend some time in there looking at all there is to see within the Blackboard. Most of the information you're going to need is under course content. That's where you're going to find all of the information about this week's module. There will be learning objects to click on that will take you through the lessons, and your assignments will be there, and other information would be there too. There's also a section for announcements. I do send an announcement every week along with a video to help you better understand the assignments. So you are responsible to both read the announcement and check out the video every week for that important information. There's also a section in Blackboard for your discussions. It's where you'll click and we will interact with each other almost every week. Several times throughout the course we will participate in discussions. Check under grades. Look at your grade book and see where you'll be finding your grades. I do try to give very timely feedback and also very detailed feedback on your assignments. So after you get an assignment back or a discussion board back, your grade back, look in the feedback section and see why you got the grade you got. Also check the rubric out. I do grade pretty strictly by the rubric, so you can check out the rubric. There's also a feedback section within the rubric as well, so it could be one of those two places. Also, go ahead and click the link to download the syllabus and see all that is required of you for this course. There is a prerequisite for this course. It's CHD 2330, and you need to have taken that course in order to take this course. You are responsible for the information from that course. So if there's something that you don't remember or you forgot along the way, that's okay. Just try to use your textbooks. They're great textbooks. Use those to look up that information. A lot of the things are reviewed in there, or if you still can't find an answer, feel free to email me or ask in the questions for the professor forum, and I'll be happy to help you there as well. I do want to talk about the textbooks for this class. The first one that we will be talking about is Understanding Reading Problems, Assessment and Instruction. This is by Gillett, Temple, Templeton, Crawford. You will use this book pretty much every week in this course, and you are responsible for the readings, and you're also responsible to show me in your work that you have done the reading. So you'll be doing that by writing about what you've read and also using citations to show that you have read and understand the material. The second book that we have is by the same crew, by Temple, Crawford, and Gillett. It's the Developmental Literacy Assessment. This book is really interesting. What it actually is a group of assessments or tests that are all literacy based, and they should all work out for the child that you will be working with in this course. So it is full of tests and instructions on how to give those tests. So you don't actually write in this book. If you wrote in the book, it would actually invalidate the test. So what you do when you give a test from this book is you make a photocopy of it, and then you give the test to the child and you write on your photocopy. You don't want to write on this book. Now these books are a little older. We're using the 8th edition of the Gillett text, and they're just a little older, so my point with that is you can probably find these used, and if you can, I would really encourage you to do that to save some money. You can also borrow. The great thing about the developmental literacy assessment is nobody should have written in it. So it's, a brand new, pristine book. You may want to keep it. You may not want to turn this back in because a lot of my students have said that they use this in the classroom later on. I know I used a book very similar to this when I was based in the elementary classroom. So that's something to consider. You can do like I did and use post-it notes and tabs and things like that to mark your place, but don't write in it so that you can keep it to be a useful item for you. This is a higher level course, so it's fast paced. We jump right in there. You're going to need to order those books right now so that that first week you can get that reading in and we can just jump in with both feet. You have to stay on top of your assignments and make sure that you turn them in by the due date. The reason for this is that most of the assignments build on the previous assignment. So you need to turn in that first assignment on time so that I can give you that feedback quickly, and then you can take that feedback and use it for your next assignment. If you end up turning it in late, you get your feedback late, and then you're not able to use that on the next assignment, and it's going to impact that one as well. So try to get them in on time. All these assignments build upon each other, and then they're due at the end of the course in a big portfolio. So the thing about the portfolio, and you'll see this in under the course content, is that you will be finding a child to assess and tutor for the entire semester. You're going to meet with them about once a week, and you'll be putting together a portfolio of the assessments you do with the child and the lesson plans that you do with the child and the student work, and then finally assessments at the end. A lot of our assignments are multi-step, so just make sure that you read the instructions and you complete all the steps, all that is asked of you. A lot of times I suggest to students to please read the rubric before you complete the assignment and then after, so that you do make sure that you have completed all that is required. A lot of our rubrics require you to talk about your personal and professional experiences on this, whatever topic it is. So try, if you can, to write about things that you have done in your life and your personal and professional experiences that may relate to the topic. If you don't have those experiences, that's fine too. You can use information from the course readings and cite that, and that will back up your response and make it more professional. And that's something that's really important when you put information out into the world and you're talking about an important subject. You don't want to just give something that seems like an opinion and not back it up with fact or a citation. So please make sure that you do back up your responses. It'll make them stronger if you cite your sources. We use the APA format in this class. I've talked about the child that you are going to tutor. For this class, it does need to be a struggling reader. That will really help you out quite a bit if the child is actually behind in reading. You'll be able to kind of write more and assess what the child needs if you have a child that's struggling. The child needs to be between the ages of 4 and 8, and it will help you tremendously if the child happens to be an English language learner. The reason for this is that there's an assignment later on the course that requires you to work with an English language learner anyway, so you can kind of combine a couple of the assignments together and save yourself a bunch of time if you just start out with an English language learner and tutor them throughout. The most important quality of the student you're going to tutor this semester is that they're consistent and that their parents know that they have to show up and be on time and be there for you to tutor. Most parents are super excited to have you working with their child and are happy to do what you need. The assignments that deal with the child are not going to be accepted late. And by late, I mean if you check out the syllabus late policy, 1 day late's 20% off, 2 days late's 40% off the assignment, and then 3 days late is 60% off the assignment. Beyond 3 days late, anything having to do with the child that you're tutoring will not be accepted. And the reason for that is um, these assessments and assignments have to be completed in a certain order and they build on each other. You're going to assess the child, then you're going to make a plan to tutor the child, then you actually are going to tutor the child, and then you're going to assess them at the end. So you can't actually, go back in time and assess the child at the beginning if you forgot to do it that week. So um, you have to do all of those things that deal with the child on time. There is no leeway on that. Discussion boards actually can't be made up either. They need to be turned in on time. I believe I allow 2 days after, of course, with some points taken away, but after the due date. But after 2 days beyond the due date, that's it. The discussion boards will go away, and they will not be able to be made up either. The reason for that is, of course, you can't actually discuss with somebody once the discussion is over. Just adding information in doesn't really help anybody. It doesn't help you and it doesn't help your peers. So that's why that won't be accepted late. Another discussion board that I want to talk about is the ongoing tutoring discussion board. This is a tutoring discussion board that will start from day one, and you will be posting in there about the student that you are tutoring and asking questions and helping each other with this whole tutoring process. So that's where you're going to only talk about tutoring. You don't need to ask, please don't ask assignment questions or things about the course in general in that ongoing tutoring discussion, because that is just there for the tutoring. Please check out the rubric for that discussion board, because there are a certain number of times that you need to post, a certain number of times you need to reply, and that's all in the rubric there. Please don't wait till the last 2 or 3 weeks of class and do all your posting then, because that will impact your grade on this class. There is a questions for the professor forum in the discussion forum, and that's where I would love for you to ask any questions that would benefit the entire class for you to ask them. So if you have a question that somebody else might want to know the answer to, also you can ask it there. Each week I'm going to be putting out these videos, and I will have extra point activities at the end. So if you watch the entire video, I will have something you can do. It's like a quick little thing that will help you get extra points in this course. I have found that make the difference in an entire letter grade for some students. So please do these extra point activities. That being said, here are your extra point activities for this week. Your first one is to go into Blackboard, into your profile, and under your profile picture, post a little picture of yourself. So that way every week when you're posting in the discussion forum, we'll see your face, and we can put a face to a name, and that'll make the class, I think, seem a little more real to each other. And then your other extra point activity is when you're doing your initial discussion this week, please post a picture of you and your family, or a casual picture, or something that tells us about you doing a hobby, those kinds of things. So this is actually worth 2 points this week, a profile picture and kind of a casual picture that tells us about you in your initial discussion this week. So for 2 points, do that. Speaking of that discussion forum, let's get on to your assignments this week. Your first assignment is that discussion forum. You'll be talking about your experiences with testing. It's kind of a very casual forum, so please post in there. And make sure to reply to 2 of your peers. And then also you need to fill out a student permission form and have it signed by the parent of the child you plan to tutor, and turn that in as well. So be looking for that child that meets those requirements and get that permission form in so you can get started on this tutoring experience and be ready for that. One last thing that I want to mention is that I know you have had lots of other courses at this school that are wonderful, and they've taught you all these really great assessments. In this class, we are talking only about assessments of literacy. So if you learned about a different assignment in a different class that may be behavioral or mathematical or something like that, those are wonderful. Those are great for another time. But in this specific class, we are talking only about assessments of literacy. They're coming from the course content. They're coming from the readings. So please use only those when you are doing your assignments. Do not make up your own assessments. We are using assessments from your textbooks that have been developed and tested and proven by experts. So with tons of experience. So these are the assessments we're going to use. We are not at the point where we're going to make up our own assessments. So with all that being said, thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really look forward to working with you on this course and looking forward to seeing you in the discussion forums. Please be sure to do your 2 assignments that are required this week and also your extra point activities. Thank you again and have a great week.